would you put him then? Who would be the player?
Murray. You need to follow Murray until you die. Until your heart.
Die.
Do I need to bleep that, YouTube? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you should.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Hoop Talk, the podcast. We got a new scenery, we got a new location. It's your boy, Hoop Talk Nas, and I'm joined by the same people as always, man. Consistency is key. I got TyDolla to my right. Make him holla. And I got our dog, Lando. Thank you guys for finding him. We put that missing persons poster everywhere, man. Y'all did a good job. Shout out to y'all. Whoever found him, man, we're gonna take care of you, man. Good job.
I had to put in some PTO, man. I'm sorry, y'all.
He is back, ladies and gentlemen. Lando, a.k.a. Pluto. And we're here at Tyler's crib. We're going to be changing up the scenery a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get started. We actually got the Magic and the Cavs game on the screen right now.
It's the end
if
of the
anything
game,
crazy
too.
happens, we apologize, guys, but we might have to react to it for a second. But
it's over. It's over.
Yeah, 5-point game, 8 seconds left. Magic are about to take it to Game 7. So
yeah.
Oh, that's Dwight Howard. Oh, snap.
What?
What the hell? Let's go ahead and get started with a few of end season awards. A few of the awards have been announced over the last few weeks. Not the ones that we're waiting for, but some of the interesting ones like Sixth Man of the Year and Most Improved. Those did come out, Coach of the Year, but we're still waiting on, what is it? We're still waiting on Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and MVP. But I think aside from Defensive Player of the Year, which people are kind of going back and forth about it right now, which we'll get to that. But aside from that, I think, people are going back and forth about MVP too. Yeah.
MVP's tied up. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it is a good race. Never mind. Yeah. I was going to say it's not much of a race. I think Rookie of the Year is not much of a race. I think we've all decided that.
Yeah, Victor by far was
Victor's
tears.
running for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're debating that. He was in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
We'll get to that, but we'll give a shout out, man, to all these guys who won awards this year so far. And I could be missing one, but I believe I wrote down all the awards that primarily matter. I don't think I missed anything. I even added some of the ones that we don't really, care about, but we'll talk about it anyway. I do have some good things to say about Mike Conley. Mike Conley took home the Teammate of the Year award,
as he always does, right?
I think he's won it before. I don't know.
How do you decide that?
I did read something. It had to do with oh man, I wish I would have wrote it down. It made sense. It's logical. Like it had to do with commitment to the team. So that's like like showing up on time, going to all the team events and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Leadership in the locker room, and then just the no technical fouls probably plays a big role. You know what I mean? So technical fouls are viewed like a negative impact to your team and to the culture. You know what I mean? So there was a list of things. It made sense. Like when you read it, it's like, okay, this award is decent. Like it's not like one of the fun awards, but I think it's good that they have it out there, man. And I was just talking to somebody about Mike Conley. He's a great player overall. He just does what you got to do.
Yeah,
he does.
I heard he's a good person in general. Like that's what the
mean,
league says in general.
Teammate of the Year, man.
Yeah.
So.
No. But like in a sense of like just like everybody who's played with him, he's never had issues anywhere. He's been a good guy. Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah.
He was in another team, right? Well, Utah and somewhere else. Grizzlies.
He's pretty consistent too, because this is what year 17 for him. I'm pretty sure.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
He's an old head for sure.
Yeah. He's still like he's up there with Braun with like being efficient throughout the years. I feel like at his position. Yeah. He's
efficient. He's effective. He got his first All-Star. I think was it last year?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Wasn't that like what year 16, year 15 for him?
And he had the highest contract in the league at one point.
Wow.
It was a bit of a.
He deserved it though. He deserved it.
He did deserve it, sure, but you could argue that others probably should have got it over him. I love Conley, but I'm just saying
he was the first change though in that big payment when they started playing.
He was the first one to break that record of Back to the awards. We got what is Stephen Curry win? Oh, Clutch Player of the Year. We got Stephen Curry won Clutch Player of the Year. I think it was DeRozan and Jokic, I believe.
Yeah, I agree with all three of those.
Yeah.
Any one of those three winning, I don't think that's crazy at all.
Yeah.
I didn't do much research on the stats, so I can't really tell you if I agree or disagree. But I know Steph is, of course. And I think was this season the season he hit his first ever buzzer beater game winner, or was that last season?
Who knows? I don't really know him as a clutch player, Steph. So it was a shock to me. I really thought Jokic should have won it this year because his shots, like, he was hitting them like nothing this year for a while.
I would have given it to DeRozan. I feel like that's an award DeRozan has to earn before he retires because that's
Yeah.
I feel like clutch is just in his blood.
Mid range turnaround jump shot. That's him. All him.
Just like Livingston never missed.
Yeah. Livingston was
1400,
different.
1400. But it was 2 years ago for Steph, 2022.
Oh, really? That he had the first game winner buzzer beater?
January 2022.
Oh, for real? Oh, snap. But yeah, then we have what was this? Executive of the year, which I actually have an interesting take on this. So I understand Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens won Executive of the Year.
Oh, okay, Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was Coach of the Year. He was Coach of the Year. But he won Executive of the Year, and I understand why. But don't you guys feel like it's an interesting take? I'll tell you that. So you might disagree, but don't you guys feel like what is his name? Presti deserves a little bit more recognition, even though his success was from prior seasons that led to this season. But you don't think that holds weight, or you think that just doesn't make sense
I think the difference
nominate him for
Executive of the Year and a really good executive? I think Brad Stevens built that team not from the draft. He built it by making moves, making trades, also by drafting and developing his players. Whereas Sam Presti, who's also great and he will probably win it, for the next couple of years. He realistically did the process better than Philly ever did. And I think that's why it's working out for them.
Yeah,
true.
But he hasn't built it yet. I don't think this is the final form of OKC. I think this is kind of that final form of Boston. They have like a few more years of development, but this is who they are, and they're nasty.
And the only way Sam Presti, I think that Executive of the Year is an award you win when you have the best record in the NBA. And he made a big trade. He got KP over there. They were the best team this year, record-wise, defensively as well. So when it comes down to it, honestly, I think it's well earned. But OKC itself, it's kind of hard to judge him because you're not seeing the progression of the players that you're seeing the progression of the players that he picked, but you're not seeing, because it's like, damn, he should have won that award in 2021 if they were going to be that good. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of to me, it sucks because he got no recognition for what he did this year because he literally is a mad scientist on there with the picks. And honestly, hot take real quick. KD going back to OKC, I'm a big advocate. Go in that corner, hit your shots.
I agree.
Go get them
100%.
some scoring when they need it. He would be a perfect 3 for them. So at the end of the day, I feel like, that needs to happen.
Like, to be able to accomplish a first seed in a stacked West with that young team, man. I actually don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm so sorry, but Mark Dagnall. I'm so sorry, but
Mark Dagnall, you got it right.
Head coach back. What is it?
Dagnall. You got Dagnall. You said it right the first time.
Oh, for real, Dagnall?
Yeah.
So whatever it is, man. Head coach of the OKC Thunder won the Coach of the Year this year. Well deserved.
I called that one.
Who was the other one?
Yeah, that was. I think you and I voted that, and then the other one I would have picked is Chris
I think we
Finch.
all agree.
Yeah.
Well,
OKC.
That's the guy from the Wolves, right?
All worthy.
Who's the third?
It was
Bickerstaff is what I said.
Who's
it was
for?
Cavs, it was the Wolves, and it was OKC.
Who's JP Bickerstaff for?
Cavs.
The Cavs. Yeah.
I've lost track of coaches. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, they're switcheroos, musical chair, but
no,
let's not do that.
But yeah, well deserved for sure. And then we got 6th man of the year. Okay,
Get well, Darvin Ham.
here we go.
Naz Reid.
He called it.
Naz Reid, 6th man of the year.
He did warn me this was gonna happen, and I forgot. Honestly, as soon as he said hold on, I was like, damn it, here we go. Naz Reid, 6th man of the year. You know what? I got a take on that. So since I know that one's gonna take me a while, let's go to Tyrese Maxey, most improved. Do you guys agree or disagree?
I agree. I mean, he averaging 5 more points, and they usually do that. They usually give it a 5-point average. It usually has to be, and there's not a lot of players who go from this year. There was only a couple players that went from star to superstar, and I think he definitely. I mean, he went to superstar to me this year with the playoffs, and I think Shea did too. But there's not a lot of other players, so yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was at the end of the season because Sengun got injured. It was between him and Kobe White.
Yeah,
either of those I would have been fine with. Kobe White, I mean, he obviously developed very well this year.
Yeah,
but Sengun got injured, so I gotta give it to you.
Yeah,
Maxey won. I was wrong.
And Maxey held a team down for almost,
facts.
That's the biggest thing about all those
couple
players.
months.
He held it, and they got into the playoffs and had a good playoff run. I feel like Maxey had a really honestly. There's a lot of things I liked about Maxey, but
Yeah, I did vote for Maxey, but I'll have to be honest with y'all. I actually did change my mind. I actually did think Kobe White made the most sense when you're debating actual improvement.
Yeah.
Like, he went from 9 points per game to 10 points per game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think Maxey took it because of going from non-All-Star to All-Star. I think so. But I think it was on the TNT crew. One of them mentioned, if you go from being a stud to more of a stud, it's like, is that really the improvement that deserves to be recognized? You know what I mean?
I'm saying. His role just changed.
I think so.
It deserves to be recognized, but are you? They convinced me. The media convinced me that Kobe White, low key, was the better option. But it's the right take, in my opinion. It is a good take at this point because, like, Kobe White did make a drastic change, and of course he wasn't an all-star or anything, but like he made a drastic change in his game. And the only thing that I disagree on it is the fact that he has played well in the past. He just started kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like he started going down for a little bit, but like his improvement was like he's the most improved. You know, I
will say this because I disagree with you. I think Kobe White went from, oh man, I'm not gonna get kicked out the league to like I have a job now, because he was looking. Everybody was looking at Kobe out with that side eye. He wasn't developing right. This year was his best year, his third year. He obviously had a sophomore slump. I think wasn't he in the Rookie of the Year? He was in it, right? Top 5 or something like that. No. He didn't even play that much, right? Now that I think about it, because that's the year they got Caruso and they had a couple other people there too, I think. But long story short, I couldn't. I think the way I'm thinking about it is he went from not almost having a job to having a job. I think with Tyrese Maxey, like he's gonna get paid way more than what he's about to get paid now. And on top of that, like you can really like it's been in the world when you can say like let's trade Embiid and build around Maxey now. I don't think you can build a team around Kobe White.
People that say they're bugging, but I've heard it. You're right.
It can happen. He carried a team to the playoffs. Like this man didn't play that much. Like he can carry a team to the playoffs. So
I think Tyrese Maxey is getting a little bit too much credit when people say that though. Because their record wasn't that good when Embiid was out.
Those pieces also weren't that good either.
That's what I'm saying. Like we haven't seen it yet what he could do, and like it's hard to say. Based off of him in the playoffs though, I don't think that you could build around him yet.
No, as of right now, I would not build a team around
Maxey
Maxey at all.
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but
is he a Robin or a Batman?
Robin.
Robin still?
He's
a Batgirl.
Does he have?
He's Alfred.
Yeah. You don't think he has Batman qualities? I think he has Batman qualities.
Tyrese Maxey?
Yeah.
You bugging.
You guys are talking about Jalen Brunson. Like, I'm talking about Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson's a Batman now. He's proved he's a Batman.
Of course.
Because he was a Robin.
Are we talking
about, about Batman? Like Batman? Like,
I'm saying
like Batman Beyond? Like the skinny Batman?
Batman.
I think
like
Jalen Brunson was Batman. What's that? Christian Bale Batman. Yeah.
Like a cosplay Batman?
Nah.
That's one of the best Batmans. That's what I'm saying.
I think he's had one of the best seasons of today. I think for
Maxey or
Brunson for a small player.
Yeah, but who are we debating in Batman? Maxey or Brunson?
What I'm saying is, I think Maxey has the capabilities of being just as good as Brunson.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't see it because we saw already how good Brunson was on the Mavs.
No.
He was just being held back. We've seen the extent of Maxey. I think we're going to see because he's going to develop more.
Yeah.
But I think this is right around like who Maxey's going to be.
Okay. All right.
I think he can get better. I'll say that. I think he can get better, but if we're looking at Brunson as an example, like Brunson has proven the entire planet.
He's also
wrong.
an anomaly. He's an anomaly when it comes to.
He's even good at
who Brunson?
Yeah, he's an anomaly. There's not a lot of players that play like Brunson. Like,
for sure.
He's a way different player.
Yeah. He has a different like sauce when he cooks.
Post game.
Yeah.
I don't think Maxey's a Batman. No, I don't think Maxey's a Batman. I barely think he's a Robin right now.
Like an Aquaman or Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is wild.
Wouldn't they be like higher tier though than Robin?
Yeah,
Robin is a sidekick.
That's what I'm saying. Is he a sidekick or is he the man? Like, is he a number
he's not
two
the
option?
man. He's not the man. But yeah, we debated about it before, or at least me and Tyler debated about it before. For our sixth man of the year, all jokes aside though, like for real, all jokes aside, like I actually want to know because I don't get it. What makes Naz Reid better than Malik Monk? Like, for real, I don't get it.
Scoring almost the same, but the difference is Naz Reid is actually a much better defender than him. He overall has been a better rebounder than him, of course, because of his position. So if he's scoring the same, and that's Malik Monk's primary role, he's a microwave off the bench.
Yeah.
And he's doing almost the same thing, but he's offering more. Why would he not win it?
Naz Reid kind of has that unicorn game, right? You can dribble the ball up the court, right?
Yeah, he's an amazing ball handler. He's actually a pretty good passer. He doesn't pass as much because of the team he's on.
Yeah.
But he's a good defender. I mean,
So it's a skill thing for you. You think he's a more skilled player because he has overall more skills?
Absolutely.
For his position. For his position.
How do you make that tangible, though?
Numbers.
What numbers prove that he has more skills? I don't get it.
So what do you mean? He's a better rebounder than him because his rebound numbers are higher.
He's also 6'10".
Yeah.
Of course, he's a better rebounder than Malik Monk. You can't use that to debate against each other.
Of your skill, though. I mean, your height.
Yeah, but you can't use that against each.
What was their impact? Like, what was their plus minus? Let's do that.
Oh, that's gonna be much higher for Naz Reid. That's not even fair.
That would be how impactful was he? Because
you guys debate it. I'll look it up. So
I think how you use your body is a skill. I think that there's people that are very tall, like Davis Bertans, for example. He was
that is a skill, but it shouldn't be a skill that's used to weigh against Malik Monk.
I don't think it's used to weigh against, but I think it's used to prop up Naz Reid.
I will say this to kind of go with Tyler as well. With that award, no, I'm against you, Tyler. My bad. I'll take that back. Honestly, the eye test told me that Malik Monk won that award, and I think that's why we're debating it. Because when you watch Malik Monk come on the court, it's like the game changes. Like, it actually doesn't change. It stays the same. He does everything De'Aaron Fox does. Shoots. I think he's a better shooter than De'Aaron Fox, to be honest with you. He shoots, he gets to the basket, he dunks on people, and they can run the same offense with him. So, I get where he's coming out with that. I didn't really watch a lot of Naz Reid's this year, so I'm not going to sit here and say he's, he should have won it or not. But I will say, with the points you're making, he sounds unicorn-ish to me. And there's one thing this league is going to do. They're going to favor those guys, those 6'10" guys who can dribble, shoot, and pass.
It's hard. Those are guard skills in a big.
Yeah. I won't say he's more skilled, but he's skilled for his position. We'll say that.
Is that the plus one?
No, I don't even know where on here it shows. But either way, I mean, I get it. I get it from a skills perspective. I understand that Naz Reid probably contributes in more areas. I just feel like, genuinely, my opinion is that Malik Monk is more impactful for the Kings than Reid is for the Wolves. Yeah. That's not to say Reid. I'm sorry, I think I said Reeves. That's not to say Reid is not impactful for the Wolves. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I just think in comparison, I would have to say that Malik Monk is more impactful. Like, he's one of the most clutch players in the NBA right now, and he's coming off the bench. You know what I mean? Like, he makes a huge difference. Without Naz Reid, the Wolves still win that series.
Let's play devil's advocate, though. I think Naz Reid changes the way they play basketball. I don't think Malik Monk changes the way they play basketball. I think their style changes. For sure it changes.
How does Naz Reid change the way
you got a big man now Wolves who can switch? I don't think Rudy's a great switcher, number one, like when it comes to going on a guard, because Naz Reid is known to switch on a guard. And another thing is you have a big man now who can grab and go. You're not going to Mike Conley anymore to go bring the ball up, or Anthony Edwards.
He's coming off the bench, though. How often are you relying on your bench players to make a defensive impact?
Another piece of this as well, when Cat went out, when he got injured, Naz Reid seamlessly filled that role for him, still off of the bench.
Because he can shoot.
And to be able to do that is impactful. It's Cat.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree, for sure. Yeah,
that's a big factor. Cat getting hurt.
Their numbers if you want them.
Go ahead.
So, whenever Naz Reid was on the court, the Timberwolves were plus 5.9.
5.9?
Yeah, whenever Malik Monk was on the court, negative 1.6.
Woo! I think that impactful argument is out of here. I like plus minus.
No, I'll touche. I'll take that on the chin. That's fine. But context does matter. Context does matter, though. That is greatly in part because of the overall defense of the team, right? And the Kings were not good this year, so that context.
Well, they were good. They just ran into a wall when they were facing injuries. A lot of people got hurt.
Malik Monk got hurt, and they started losing games.
I don't think they were bad. I don't think they weren't good. I think they started the season off good, though.
I don't think they were going to really finish strong, in my opinion. But but either way, I guess I get it. I understand the logic. I'm not against Naz Reid winning because I do think Naz Reid is a phenomenal player. And I do like him a lot. But let's go ahead. We could kind of run through, quick little, who do you think is going to win it? But I think we all got pretty much the same. I think we might disagree on one of these. We'll see. I forget what the conversation looked like last time we had this talk, but we'll see. Rookie of the year hasn't been decided yet. Obvious choices. Wemby.
Yeah, that's not going to be.
What's his name from the Hornets? Miller.
Yeah,
Brandon
he balled
Miller.
though. He had a good season.
And he had a great season for sure.
Yeah,
I think we could all deserving it any other year.
Yeah, any other year for sure. But I think we can all agree that the alien is going to take over the planet. So.
Yeah. He already has.
He already has. I like that. That should be like his catchphrase or his slogan. I've seen the alien thing. But yeah.
Also, who named him? LeBron, right? LeBron gave him the alien name.
No, I don't think so.
Who gave him the alien name?
I don't know.
Hopefully.
Someone did. No, that was not that. Someone said that's not even a unicorn. He's an alien. That was Bron. That was Bron. Yo,
he gets
Nike master.
And then we have defensive player of the year has not been decided, which is between Rudy, Wemby, and I don't remember.
I don't know if Anthony Davis was top three.
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
The wild part about that.
It was crazy.
Bam.
Yeah.
It was crazy. He had a game winner after that. I was like, yeah, man, you had to block that shot.
Yeah,
you had to block that shot.
Bam is also deserving though, but it's tough to put him above AD for me.
Yeah, it's tough to put him over AD. AD wouldn't have won. I think Rudy Gobert is the decisive defensive player of the year. The world seems to be on the bandwagon that Wemby deserves it. I was curious what you guys think about that notion. We've talked about it before, but I've already forgotten.
I'm a devil's advocate. I mean, I hate it because I'm kind of parallel with it. I think it has to show within the team and what the team produces within wins. But at the same time, man, this man was a freak in nature. Like 4 blocks a game, like damn near 4 blocks. Also switching on guards and locking guards up. Also, like just the offensive that comes off his defense, because a lot of the things that happened for him good this year was defense going to offense, like transitioning quick. Grabbing and going, like blocking shots, grabbing shots, not even blocking them, just grabbing them. But yeah, it's gonna beat Rudy Gobert. That's what's crazy. And it might be Bam. They might throw us off.
It won't be Bam.
I hope
it won't be Bam. Bam's great though. Again, I hate to talk about these players this way because it always seems like I'm saying these players aren't good. You know what I mean? Bam is great, phenomenal defender, one of the best in the league, of course. But like back to the Wemby thing, man. It's like I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's a fun conversation to have. But my argument is the same as it is for almost any other award. The numbers that you can put up to say that you deserve it, how impactful were those numbers? You know what I mean? What did those numbers mean?
I agree.
Or did you just put those numbers on a stat sheet and take them home with you? You know what I mean? Like, you averaged 3.5 blocks. What did those 3.5 blocks do? You know what I mean? And we're watching Luka Doncic right now, right? Luka Doncic, and some people may disagree, but he gets a lot of stats. You know what I mean? But he will not be his peak until he realizes these stats aren't going to win me the game anymore. You know what I mean? It's the same for Wemby. Wemby's, a rookie, so he has plenty of years to learn that. And Luka has plenty of years to learn that,
I think Wemby has more defensive stats than Luka will ever have.
I mean Luka has stats like crazy. Well, I get what you mean.
No, I'm saying defensively. Defensively,
of course. Yeah, no, but I'm saying
it's different.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. But I'm just talking in general, the ability to stack up, on the stat sheet on the box score and put all these numbers up. What do these numbers mean? I get it. You can get the blocks. I get it. You can switch on guards and trail them and get a block from behind and contest. So I get all that. That's cool. But what did that do? You know what I mean? What difference did that make in the game?
I made a 2-minute compilation of all the NBA players.
Right?
Now, what did he get blocked by Wemby? 2-minute compilation is crazy.
I'm looking forward to that next year. If teams change their game plan and they adjust and he's still getting this amount of blocks, I think it's a little different. I think the team around him just sucks, which is true. And he's just a great defender.
Spurs need to make changes for him.
If he's continuing 4 blocks a game and the teams are adjusting, he deserves it.
The team definitely plays a big role, and I believe that part of the argument. I'm on that side of the bandwagon for sure. His team does create a context where it's like, okay, well, Wemby is trying, but the rest of them aren't. But I've never seen a defensive player of the year on a bad defensive team.
Individually, without it talking about the team things, he probably is the best defender in the league, though. We're not going to argue that.
He most likely will be, absolutely.
Next year, he'll be the best player. Well, not the best player, the best defensive player in the league.
I don't know how you're getting over him.
Yeah, I just don't know how you're scoring on him. Like, and that's the thing. Like, when we all get to this point now, when we're talking about Gobert, I think what he is saying is the James Harden line. he's not a player. He's the system. So Gobert is the system. He is the rotation
defensive
piece.
system. Let's clarify.
Of course. But he is a rotation player to stop, to get the paint locked down.
Right.
And honestly, that's going to be an issue for the Nuggets. We'll get into that later, but that's going to be an issue for the Nuggets.
I have a hot take, though. I actually think that there's a very high likelihood he never wins Defensive Player of the Year, just like Tim Duncan, just because of how the Spurs run their schemes.
Oh, no, he gets 20 blocks on time.
No, I think he will.
I think he will, but I think there's also a very, very high likelihood that he ends up becoming that system defense that the Spurs run.
The way he gets the numbers, he'll get it eventually.
I hope so.
I think he'll get it eventually. But he's just a rookie. It's okay if he doesn't, guys. That's my thing. Like, it's okay if he doesn't. He's just a rookie. Like, he doesn't have to win everything. You know what I mean? Like,
has there ever been a player that won Defensive and Rookie of the Year?
No, he was.
Not that I'm aware of.
I think the first one was even nominated.
That's insane, though. That's a feat in itself.
It is. And I mean, all power to Wemby. I think Wemby's going to take over the planet for sure. But
yeah. In 4 or 5 years, though, he's the best player in the league. 4 or 5 years.
And then last but not least, we have MVP is the last award that we're waiting for that hasn't been announced yet. That's between Shea, Jokic, and Luka. I think Luka's out of the picture in my eyes. I just don't think the debate is with him anymore.
I think Shea's even lower.
I think being a 6th seed is unnecessary, but I actually disagree. I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander should be MVP. I think Jokic will win it.
Too.
I think Shea should win it, but I think Jokic will get it.
Yeah.
What place is Luka in? Do they have places yet?
He was actually second.
Luka's third.
On the latest voting, he was second.
No, Luka's third.
And
Yeah. At least last time I saw it, Luka's third.
Wow.
But yeah, I think Shea should get it because at the end of the day, he did carry his team to the number 1 seed. And I think some people that I've told this to before don't agree with the word carry, but I think it's true. I think he did carry them.
On offense, for sure.
Offensively, he's a great defender too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the addition of Chet was a huge boost. The surgence of J-Dub, that's a huge boost. Dort is a knockdown shooter now. That's a huge boost.
The Dortcher chamber,
so,
bro.
Overall, they've done plenty of things that have boosted them, but it's without Shea's ability to impact the game the way he does, they do not get the number 1 seed. And I'm not even saying on some, take Shea out of the team. Of course, if you take Shea out of the team, they're trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe not trash, but not the best. But it's not even about, take him out of the team. It's make him a little lesser of a player. Right?
I think
if you make him a little lesser of a player, they're what? Maybe not even a top 6 team.
I think Shea makes them a great team.
I agree.
And that's what I know. That's what you're saying there. But in the sense of like, you take that engine out of there, man. They don't have a facilitator.
Yeah.
They don't have a ball handler that's as trustworthy. I mean, they still have Jalen Williams, and he's nasty. But that's a trio. That's a 3-headed monster right now that they're building. They're trying to incorporate Giddey on that team. But when we're talking about MVP, I think Shea should win it. Best player on the best team.
I want Shea to win it.
That's how it should be. I don't think the MVP should ever be anything but that unless it's an anomaly where there's a dude scoring like 50 points a game, and he has to because his team's a 6 team. And that's why a lot of people are giving Luka the flowers because Luka's PRA was crazy. His points, rebounds, and assists this year, he was averaging like 50 on the overs and under on the parlays.
Before he got injured, I mean, they were top 3 seed as well. And then
they actually were one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. The Mavs were when the season was ending.
Yeah, after the trade deadline.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I mean, we could say Luka, and I would love Luka to win one, but I don't think Luka's ever going to win an MVP because what he said, he doesn't play defense. He's a one-sided player.
Moving on to our playoff topics, man. A lot has happened in playoffs since the last time we had an episode, man. A lot of teams have been eliminated. We are going to get to one of these teams that I do not want to talk about, but I guess I am obligated to due to the podcast. But let's at least...
Who is it?
Don't worry about it. We're going to talk about the Wolves.
Ellen ends with Akers.
We're going to start...
I called that shit.
We're going to start with Minnesota. The Minnesota Wolves swept what Tyler likes to call the Phoenix Underachievers. 4-0. We have a lot of topics, man, so I'm going to let you guys go through it, but I'll ask y'all. Y'all tell me what it is, man. Starting with Anthony Edwards. Tyler, I think you wrote this down. Anthony Edwards, has he arrived? What are your thoughts on that?
Man, did you see how confident that guy was? He's a leader in the locker room already. He leads that team like you were talking about before. He was pulling over Rudy Gobert, and he understood wow, I'm killing KD in this matchup. I want this matchup. He's my favorite player. He recognized that he needs help, which as a young star. I mean, that's hard.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it.
That dude cooked them every single game. Even the game where he scored 15, he did meaningful shots at the end, cooked them.
One thing I'm going to ask y'all to stop doing, though, is stop doing the Jaden McDaniels, Scottie Pippen memes. That is out of pocket. That is so out of pocket.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Minnesota. And shout out to Ant. I think Ant, man, it's scary because, like, he's so confident. And you guys say Kobe, Michael Jordan, I see all those players in him. And what I love about him is that he talks. It's been a while since I've seen players talk on the court. LeBron's my favorite player, but he's not a shit talker. He's not going to talk shit. I mean, not that you're going to see him that animated. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you usually, when you get a player like Ant, he's not as good as Ant. He's like a Lance Stevenson, an Eddie House, like they're role players. You see the most, I mean, other than, like, Giannis, when it comes to personality, I think Ant, and with competitiveness, I think Ant that's what makes him so good, man. He wants that. And, like, I love seeing him call KD old. That was my favorite thing of the playoffs so far. Because I never thought I'd get here. And then seeing that, seeing that young buck go down take him down is amazing.
I think to tackle your point about the asking for help, we brought it up earlier, but yeah, that maturity to me is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like me being in the basketball world the way that I am, and then how I'm always looking for players to have a certain mindset and a certain just a certain maturity to them. Like that right there is what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like this is not about this was your man. You know what I mean? No, it wasn't you. It wasn't my man. It was our man. You know what I mean? We are here to stop this man from scoring, not just me. I'm just the first line of defense, and he knew. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm sorry he got position on me. He's ready to get this ball over the top. He's twice my size. If he gets it, he's going to score. Rudy, come over, man, because if he sees you, he's going to pass out of it. Boom, we all rotate. We're back in our position. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you look at just overall his charisma, man.
Who they surrounded him with is amazing too. Like
that's the thing, though.
They surrounded him by some good players.
That's the thing, though. If you think about it, they didn't actually surround him by anybody. He was the last one to join the fold.
No. I'm saying to when they decided to go from Cat team to Ants team. Remember? Because team. When they decided to go Ants team, they got him those pieces because he was getting in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. Those pieces were there. He was the last one to join that team. McDaniels was already there. Cat was already there.
McDaniels was part of the D'Lo trade.
Oh, was he? Oh,
yeah.
What was he before?
I might have this wrong, but they picked up D'Lo from Minnesota because originally the crazy part is, unfortunately, the Lakers drafted McDaniels.
Wow,
and they traded him.
McDaniels was not on the Lakers.
Josh Hart too. Shout out to Josh Hart.
No, we didn't. Well, I could be wrong. Well, I don't want to get too deep into that because I don't even remember. I don't care about D'Lo anymore. But yeah, either way, yeah, you're right though. You keep going with your point. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going with whatever you were saying. You were saying something about the team they surrounded.
Oh yeah. I think like the maturity, like the mature players. Like you got someone like Conley, maturity. Helping with development, like being their hands on, being his point guard, and you can hear Conley in the playoffs say, "Man, Ant figured it out. He figured it out. He got it." And to me, that's intense.
Yeah. Wait. McDaniels drafted by the Lakers.
Jaden McDaniels?
Yeah.
Man.
Okay.
My man's got that.
On the Lakers.
Rain Man for basketball.
The boy types in a keyword and pops up.
But to finish what I was saying, I mean, you put him around those players. You put Cat. Cat's a good dude. I mean, he's not the toughest guy, but he's a good dude. And he gives all those guys flowers. He's their toughness. He's their heart.
The crazy part about that is,
remember,
Cat was almost a superstar before Anthony Edwards came. And he just completely allowed him to take the team over.
I don't know about superstar, but I get what you mean.
Borderline.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. But for Anthony Edwards to just come in and Cat allow that to happen also speaks about Cat.
Well, he's their toughness. He's their backbone. Like and that's what we haven't seen in a long time in the NBA. We haven't seen a guard be like, he's literally he is that team. Yeah. Like they embody it, and I think that's a big thing to have like someone that young and everybody follows suit. Like there hasn't been mature NBA players since like LeBron, Dwayne Wade.
It's gravity, man. It's gravity.
Yeah, so he has
everybody.
Naturally.
He's going out there and he's saying, I'm going to cook and I'm going to kill everything in front
of him.
He'll be the best player in the league. I mean, for the next 2 years until, that alien gets right. He'll be the face, but once that man gets rocking and rolling, man, that freaking nature, man, it's up, man. It's up. Once that guy figures it out offensively, oh man, it's over for the league, bro.
Yeah, Edwards is definitely taking over.
Yeah,
and he has a better luck of being the face than Wemby does, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but Wemby does have that media presence that, like, that the world just gravitates towards him. Yeah. But
he's a smart kid. He's got that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar vibe.
Yeah. But going back to the Wolves there, so a lot of good things happened there. I think this is actually the one where I had the most notes on. But, I've always been an advocate on Rudy Gobert, and I have a lot of group chats where I talk basketball. People have I tell people all the time, and they get butthurt from it. But your opinion on Rudy Gobert tells me what your basketball IQ is. If you don't think Rudy Gobert is a good player, then you just don't understand basketball. And I understand that he's not fancy. He's not fun. You know what I mean? He's not entertaining. Yeah. But he makes winning basketball. Or he plays winning basketball. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. He's not going to dribble like Wemby. He's not going to shoot like Cat. He's not going to do some of the things that other big men can do that have similar size. But he plays winning basketball. And the main point, I just wanted to get that off my chest. But
also, man, I think KD is officially, in my eyes, he's officially not a... I mean, he won an MVP. I'm not gonna take it away from him, but he's not a catalyst. He's not the bus driver. What my boy Charles Barkley say, he's not the bus driver. He's the bus attendant. Okay, and I think we see that, man. I don't think he's that guy. He's not him. In the sense of being the face of a franchise since OKC, but he didn't get it done in OKC. So, we can have that argument as well. Yeah, so I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just think we got to start thinking about Kevin Durant as not a top 5 player anymore. I think he's a good top 15 player now.
All time or current?
All time. I don't think he's a top 5.
Anyway. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. All time. I don't think, but he makes that conversation for himself. He thinks he is, and I don't think he knows really what he is.
Well, he has to, but
he's Carmelo.
I heard somebody.
Not in play style. I'm saying within what they bring.
Like impact?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
I think he's better, but...
He's more efficient, for sure.
Absolutely. And also better defender.
I heard somebody say that... I heard somebody say that it's time we start talking about Kevin Durant's buckets, because we look at him as a scorer, as a bucket getter, and it's time to start thinking, as of right now, are his buckets as impactful as
what's crazy? He's only hit 50 points, I think, like twice or 3 times, and he's supposed to be like one of the best scorers ever.
Just highly efficient. He knows it.
Yeah, but consistency matters more than volume.
Still, though, if you're one of the best scorers ever, you only have, when I think of best scorers ever, who do you guys think? I think of Kobe's 81. I think Wilt Chamberlain's 100. I think that season where this man dropped 3 60-point games, James Harden, when I think of scorer, man, I'm thinking of them absurd numbers. Even Michael Jordan, averaging 30. Has he even averaged 30? Has KD averaged 30?
Yeah, that year he won MVP.
But how many times?
Multiple times.
Multiple. At least 2 to 3 times.
Ah, man.
No, I give him 5.
His
5?
KD's whole thing has always been efficiency, though. He's gonna come out. He's gonna have the same game. He's gonna shoot.
Give me an efficient 50-point game.
And he could do it, but that's not his game.
He also doesn't he have a rule where he only takes 5 threes a game? And after that he won't take any more?
I think he was joking about that. That'd be so stupid.
No, because when you go look at them overs and unders, bro. if you look, not that I'd be looking at the best. It's just it'll literally say 4 to 5 3-point shots, and he's a knockdown shooter. Why are you only taking 4 to 5? Do you know what NBA you're in right now?
Well, he's only averaged 33 times, but he's led the league in scoring 4 times.
His impact is very similar to Kyrie, where it can be used as a catalyst to win.
Yes.
He's consistent.
Kyrie's clutcher though.
I think KD's has some clutch moments, but
this man hit the clutchest shot in the NBA Finals. Kyrie.
But what has he done since then?
What has KD said?
Exactly. So they're not the same. They're
true.
very similar. KD, he's 13 and 18.
KD's a better player than Kyrie.
KD's 13 and 18 in the playoffs since he left Golden State.
Who's a better scorer?
KD.
Man.
KD is the best scorer of all time. That's my personal opinion.
It's hard to compare.
I think he's built to be the best scorer of all time.
He is the best. What is a scoring aspect that he is not elite at? He is elite at everything you can think of.
Down low post pretty much would be the only thing.
Player.
No. Down low, getting by. I think LeBron's better than there.
How you score doesn't really matter. It's a matter of being in the post. How you post up doesn't affect the game. So you can back somebody up, or you can just dribble and fade away.
Jump.
You know
That's
what I mean?
What he's doing.
But his back is to the basket and he's posting up. At the end of the day, how he posts up, that shouldn't be a factor.
Well, I mean, my argument's not even Kyrie. I think Carmelo to me would be the best scorer ever. I think the way he scored and the way he went about it was, to me, elite.
This is going to be a take that people aren't going to be a fan of, but if he actually was, he would have lasted longer. That's my personal opinion. Kevin Durant's scoring is useful for endless amount of time. Carmelo's scoring is not useful.
No, but it's also the play style that they're playing now. There's no more ISO ball.
Exactly. So how can you be the best scorer of all time if you can't fit into a future generation?
That's the thing about KD. KD's a plug-in player. I think KD. This is going to be a wild name that I bring in, but he's kind of like a Ray Allen, like where you can just put him on any team and he's going to get his buckets and
from that aspect, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You lost me at the beginning there.
No, I know. That's why I said it's going to be crazy. But what
I'm
saying is, you don't need to draw up plays for them. Like they're going to get open and hit their shots. And Ray Allen was a decent scorer, but the reason I bring him up is like the seamless fit. Yeah. It's the seamless fit. He's a one shoot. Yeah, he's a one hat fits everywhere. So that's why I'll give him that. But he's still not top 10 to me. I don't view him.
He's not a top 10 player for me either. Yeah. But there's no denying how amazing KD is. I think it's just he has to accept that it's time for him to take a lesser role. I think he hasn't fully accepted that, and he still plays as though he's supposed to be the number one option. Yeah. I think Booker was supposed to be the number one option on that team, and Kevin Durant just didn't decrease his volume. I think when you have a big three, two things have to happen. Three things have to happen. You have to pick the head of the snake, right? Let's look at the Miami Heat, for example. Yeah. You have to pick the head of the snake. LeBron is the head of the snake, right?
And they messed up that first season.
Exactly, because they couldn't figure that out, right? Yeah. So you pick the head of the snake first, right? Yeah. That's going to be LeBron in this situation, right? Using this as an example. You can use the Celtics pick three. That's going to be Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is the head of our snake. Then you got to pick the player who's going to decrease his volume but continue to play the same way. Wade, Kevin Garnett, right? He's going to decrease their volume, but they're still going to play the same style that they played on the team before.
I think Kevin Garnett was more like Chris Bosh. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think so at all.
I think Ray Allen was more of what you're talking
about.
Wade, hear me out. Okay. If you think of Kevin Garnett, he did everything he did in Minnesota at a lesser volume. He didn't change his game. He was still the defensive leader of the team. He was still the mid-range shooter. He was still post up. He would still play the 4 and the 5 depending on what was needed. There was nothing changed about how he played the game. Yeah. But now the third thing that needs to happen when you have a big three, and this is all about the Suns, but I'm using the Heat and the Celtics as an example. The third thing is the third player has to change his game.
So who changed?
Chris Bosh changed his game.
No, on the Celtics.
Booker, that's the issue. Booker changed
on the Celtics. Ray Allen changed his game. Because Ray Allen was not a spot-up shooter on the Sonics and the
he was a point guard, right?
He was a shooting guard,
combo guard.
He was a scoring guard. You know, he was a scoring two. He was a Reggie Miller.
I think he's better than Reggie.
I wanted to say Kobe, but of course he doesn't play like Kobe, but he's a scoring two guard.
I know what you're talking about.
Similar to Kobe, like his early
he had a similar style of Kobe. Of course, he was not the level of player of Kobe. Nobody's saying that. Just making sure that's clear. Yeah, but Ray Allen was the one that had to change his game. If you think about it, his job wasn't to dribble the ball anymore. His job wasn't to attack the basket anymore. His job wasn't to create shots anymore. His job was to catch the ball and shoot it. His job was to run off the screens. Chris Bosh was a post-up heavy guy, a main scorer on the Raptors. He had to turn into a
But wouldn't you say Bradley Beal changed his game? Because I feel like Bradley Beal was trying to do that. I think he was trying to be that X factor.
He can't though. There's no way for him. He's not a good defender. He's not a good passer.
You think he changed his game?
No.
I think he's the volume guy. His volume went down. But I think Devin Booker changed his game because Devin Booker was playing point guard. He was playing point guard.
They did all the wrong things. They picked the wrong head of the snake. They picked the wrong player to change his game, and they picked the wrong player to decrease his volume. Yeah. What should be happening here is Booker is the head of the snake. This is the guy who's been here. This is his franchise. Yeah. He can lead us. He's done it before. You know what I mean? 100%. Give him the 30 points per game. KD, you got to decrease your volume. You don't have to average 27, 28. Give us 24. Give us 25.
Better defense.
KD, you might even be able to give us 23. You might be able to survive on that. You know what I mean? And then Beal, you got to change your game. You got to figure out who.
But his efficiency was better than Beal's. That was, I think, where it came down to.
Beal averaged 50% from the field, 43% from three.
They all.
Also, did he have a 90-50-40 or was it?
No, he didn't average 90. He didn't average 90. He was high 80s, but he didn't.
So he almost did it.
He almost did it. He was super efficient, but
did Grayson get it?
He decreased. No. He decreased his volume, though, but he doesn't need to decrease it. He has to change his game. One, I think he needs to be a six-man. That's my personal opinion.
I would say the same thing.
I think he needs to be a six-man. I think he's naturally a scorer, so just bring him off the bench with a unit that needs a boost.
And then you have a bench now,
and now
no
you
matter
have a
what.
Stronger bench, you know.
And Bradley Beal can win Sixth Man of the Year for the next 4 or 5 years if he really wanted to.
I don't think it'll ever make sense to pay a Sixth Man of the Year that much money. Like, I think that they just made a mistake with that trade, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they're stuck with what they have.
You can't lose games because of stubbornness. That's stubbornness at the end of the day.
If Russell Westbrook could do it, Bradley Beal could do it.
But he got paid
That's
less.
how I view it.
I think they just really made a mistake here, unfortunately. And I'm sure they could bring him off the bench, but they're three of the same players. There are three scoring guards with this because KD, I know he's 7 foot and he's a forward, but he's realistically plays like a scoring guard.
Well, the thing it's funny that we talked about Ray Allen because that's whose game Bradley Beal was kind of in college. That's who they would compare him to. So, like, I mean, I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to bring Beal off like a spot up, but the thing about it is, I don't think Devin's. I think don't cook me for this. I think he's a good passer, but I don't think he's an elite passer.
I don't think he's a good passer.
Who?
Devin Booker. I think he's an okay passer.
He's an elite passer?
I don't think he's a good passer. I think he gets assists. I don't think he's a good passer.
I guess he gets assists off being double teamed.
There's a difference between volume passing and playmaking.
Exactly.
He's a volume passer.
Yeah. So in that situation, they just need to get a point guard, and it's not going to be Bradley, and it's not going to be Devin. So at this point,
it's not going to be KD. So that much.
Yeah. So I mean, and I think what Naz is saying is right, and I know you don't like that all that money's coming off the bench, but you don't have a bench. So you might as well use what you have.
You're not just going to keep losing games because you're stubborn. I was like, we're paying you $50 million, so we can't bring. No, yes, you
having 20 off the bench isn't bad. Having a 20-point shotgun,
having $50 million coming off the bench.
He cannot score 20 off the bench. That's what he needs to stop doing. He needs to stop scoring so much.
Yeah, he doesn't have to score 20.
He could do what Devin Booker's doing and run the same offense with him.
Yeah,
off the bench.
I think the goal with him should be like a 15-5. You know,
but you have to remember the likelihood is KD or Booker will always be on the court next to him. You know
and
that's why he can't average 20. He has to still be able to average less.
I think he's gonna average 20 off the bench easily, 20 to 15.
I say he can. Of course he can.
Yeah.
I think that's
Bradley Beal's a bucket getter, but I don't think he should. I don't think that's what's gonna make them win.
That's their issue. The issue is he keeps scoring.
He only averaged 18 this year, but I think a 15, 16 points per game for him. And it's weird to go out there and say I'm going to score less, but it's not about scoring less. It's about picking your opportunities differently. That's all it is.
I will say this because he was hurt at the beginning of the year. When the Phoenix actually played better without him. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the statistics, but I feel like they played better defensively without him because they had more defenders on there with like 3 and D guys. But to kind of double stand down on it, I think him coming off the bench. I mean, who would be the best player in the NBA coming off the bench right now? It would probably be him, right?
Oh yeah,
hands
absolutely.
down. So
but
I mean,
his numbers would go down though. So I wonder he might be at that level.
You can rest KD and Book at the same time, and he can have his own version of a team. But it's also a mentality thing. Is he willing to accept the fact that I'm coming off the bench? I'm only going to get 23 to 25 minutes closing the game. I think he should still close games. But at the end of the day, like we're saying, like, is he willing? It's an acceptance thing. It's accepting who you are, accepting what you can do, and how you can win. And if he's smart, be the best 6-man to ever live, in my eyes. And I think if Lou Will could do it off the bench 20, I think he could do it.
Well, yeah, but he was born and raised to be a 6-man.
And a scorer.
Yeah. He has a song dedicated to him called 6-Man.
He's got 2 girls. Yeah, 2 girls like I'm Lou Will.
But ultimately, it's going to be Suns versus Nuggets in the second round of the playoffs.
Timberwolves versus Nuggets.
So, what did I just say?
Suns versus Nuggets.
Oh, I'm sorry. Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. What do you guys think? What's your honest opinion?
You already know
we can take that serious.
I don't know anymore.
I think Ed can win this championship. I think if any year was the year, I mean, other than the Celtics at the end, but they match up well with the Celtics. So I think, like, when we're just watching it, bro, that feeling, he has a very, very, very good chance to win a championship this year, and that would be insane for him from Minnesota. And I think that window right now is crazy for them because, like, Rudy's older, Mike's older. So I mean, I don't put it past them to win the championship, but I think they could beat the Nuggets as well. I think they match up very well with the Nuggets. They're one of the best paint defending team in the NBA, and that's where the Nuggets get all their points off that dunker spot. JJ Redick and LeBron, off the dunker spot. So honestly, at the end of the day, man, I think honestly, Wolves got this. I think Wolves, and I'm going 7 still. I'm going 7.
I think it's gonna be a tough game for the Nuggets. They have a lot of length on that team. Not only do they have length, they're actually bigger bodies as well with it. Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is Jamal Murray did not play that well in the Lakers series until the fourth quarter, unfortunately. I mean, he just hates the Lakers.
Yeah.
If he does not, kind of get it together, if he doesn't use that confidence from this series,
I
think the people that they are sending at him, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, they have Edwards, they have McDaniels, they even have Mike Conley. Like, those are just a lot of people that they're going to consistently be throwing at him. He's going to have different looks. I don't know.
Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if Mike Conley's out there guarding KCP, because KCP's a 3-and-D guy.
That's the
don't
best
be
place
shocked.
to put him on.
Yeah, don't be shocked, because that's the perfect place to put him. It's not like KCP's going to post him up or anything like that.
No.
So that seems it's kind of sick.
I like them.
I think the Wolves have a chance to win, but we also have to understand it is a whole different matchup than the Suns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the success that they had from that Suns matchup is a whole lot different. You know what I mean? Like they did well, or I don't even know if maybe they won the season series. Who knows how the regular season went?
They lost it. They lost 4-0.
The Wolves?
Yeah, against the Suns.
No, I'm saying against the Nuggets. I don't know how that series went, but
2-2.
But that's my point, right? They lost to the Suns 3-0, and at the end of the day, like, how they matched up in the regular season, it just doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, the Suns proved it. They swept them in the regular season, and they got swept in the playoffs. So it's a different matchup. That's when you have to take into consideration that you can't always let your best player guard the other team's best player, or maybe Jamal Murray's not the best player, but he is the best option out there. You know what I mean, in the perimeter
I think you can argue
for Edwards to guard, and if Edwards has to guard him all game long, that's not going to be a good game series for Edwards. He's never had to go out there and actually guard the best player, and then the rest of the team is still a threat. You know what I mean?
He just did it last round with D-Book.
But the rest of the team wasn't a threat. That's what I'm saying. The rest of the team wasn't a threat. So if I stop you, we're good.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
If I slow you down, we're good.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have to deal with Jamal Murray. You know what I mean? Jokic is now gonna stretch the floor more often. That's gonna be a problem.
That's Gobert's. That's his kryptonite. Like, if you look at how many points, but again, it's the key matchups for me. I think that Jaden McDaniels, Michael Porter Jr. matchup is very, very important, because Michael Porter Jr. is usually the X factor for every team. And another key matchup will be the Cat and Aaron Gordon one. Those two matchups, to me, I can see Anthony going off, and I can see Nikolai going off and getting their respective points, and honestly going even more than that. But the key matchups will be there, just like the last two series. It was within those other players. Last series, I think, for the Suns was Gobert and Jaden McDaniels. I think Jaden McDaniels is underrated defensively.
He's ridiculous. Straight jacket.
And then for the Nuggets, it was Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. And I think now that we're having those options kind of come together, and we're about to see what happens. But they kind of nullify each other. They nullify each other.
That's where I see the problem, though. If your McDaniels is the best perimeter defender on that team, if McDaniels is guarding MPJ, I don't think that's a good thing.
No, that's a waste.
I don't think Anthony Edwards falls right behind. I think Anthony Edwards is right there with him as being a great.
Anthony Edwards is a great perimeter defender. McDaniels is a far better perimeter defender. Like,
McDaniels is elite. McDaniels will probably be in contention for defensive player.
Yeah, Edwards is great.
He's built to stop those unicorns.
But that's why you don't have.
But why do you want to stop MPJ?
Because MPJ just
that's their best scorer, I think.
No, but he's their best spotter. I think on him, that's where you put. That's where you put Naz Reid when he's out there. That's where you put Anthony Edwards.
MPJ is who you want to get the ball. You want him to chuck it up as many times as you can. The more shots he can take away from Murray, the more chances we have of winning this series. Yeah. I say put Ant on MPJ.
You know why I argue that, though? And because Jamal Murray had a bad last playoffs, and it wasn't about him. It was about the dunker spot and MPJ. So that's why I and it was like that for the playoffs last year.
Jamal Murray closed out every one of those games.
Yeah, I'm saying, but he didn't have a good playoffs. So he didn't have a good games. He wasn't the best player throughout the game.
How you start a game doesn't matter how you finish it. If there's a defender in front of him,
who got you there?
If there's a defender in front of him to at least stop 4 or 6 of these points, the Lakers win by 2 or 4. You get what I mean?
The best defender on their team was guarding them at the point. It was what's his name? Anthony Davis.
I don't even know who's the best defender on the Lakers.
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis wasn't guarding him for the whole fourth quarter.
No, at the end though, they were switching it up and
one possession. The one possession isn't going to save the game.
I think the actual secret here though is to have Rudy Gobert and Aaron Gordon. You're going to have Cat, and he's going to get cooked, unfortunately. But you have Cat on Jokic, and you have...
Cat's like a big Rui anyways.
you have Rudy helping out as much as possible. You're going to have Luka Garza playing in there, which, you know, he might not be the best person, but you just got to have a bunch of big bodies.
You have a lot of bodies for him.
I think the secret, though... I don't think the secret's locking down MPJ, though. I think the secret is having your quickest players with the most length on him, but I think you have to have McDaniels on Murray.
It's scary to me. It's scary with MPJ because, like, I feel like how he's going is how the team's going. And that's what I've noticed these playoffs, at least. That's just what I've noticed. Even when they won.
Honest, I just completely disagree, man.
Last year, the reason they won, I mean, it's arguable. It's him stepping up and being a good third option.
Completely disagree. Last year,
he had
the Nuggets,
great finals.
The Nugget, Jamal Murray was the greatest player I've ever witnessed in the history of basketball.
It was prime Larry Bird, the GOAT.
Jamal Murray. No, I understand. I understand your point, right? But at the end of the day, MPJ is an other. He has to accept that. We're not gonna waste our best defender on an other. I don't think that's a good use. McDaniels, no offense to McDaniels, you are here to play defense. So why are we using you for MPJ?
So where would you put him then? Who would be the player?
Murray. You need to follow Murray until you die. Until your heart.
He's gonna
die.
He's gonna go to the
Do
hospital.
I need to bleep that, YouTube? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you should.
Unalive himself.
Until you unalive.
That's why I was telling my friends, and I don't want to digress too much into the Lakers, but that's why we needed Cam Reddish. That's why we needed Vanderbilt. They need to stick on. That's why we needed Christie. He's tough to put in a playoff rotation though. But either way,
he's kind of small in that.
He's 6'5", but either way. Yeah, he's tall.
Isn't Austin Reeves? Austin Reeves 6'5"?
He's also a terrible defender. My point is, we need those specialists, those defensive specialists, to hound Murray because he has to slow down. If he does not slow down, we don't win this series. Doesn't matter what Ant can do. If Ant has to follow him all series long, Ant is not going to have a good 7 games. He's going to struggle. He's going to get tired. He's going to get annoyed. Regardless of how phenomenal he is, regardless of how mentally tough we think he is,
I don't think it's a think. I think it's a proven thing.
Yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, it's just basketball. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. All right, bro.
The play. But it's just how basketball goes. You know what I mean? Like, there's players in history that used to guard the best player, and I respect them for it. But they were also psychopaths. You know what I mean? Like, Kobe was a psychopath. Yeah. I get it, bro. You want to guard the best player on the court.
Well, Michael Jordan wasn't guarding the.
You know,
that's not.
Yeah, but he had Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, one of the best. The best.
You can't put your these days. And the thing is, Kobe could do that because there wasn't other options. But you just can't put.
Well, they had Rick Fox, Ron Artest. They had a couple players.
No, I'm saying other options for the other team.
Okay.
Their best players where it stopped. You know what I mean? Like the teams weren't stacked like they are now.
Yeah. Also, another thing with the Timberwolves, though, I think that we forget, because what you said, they won all those games. Did they win them because of Michael Porter Jr.? I don't think so. They were losing until the fourth quarter almost every single game.
There's not a single game.
And what would happen is, consistently, Jamal Murray would practice those exact shots throughout the game. The first 3 quarters, he'd be hitting those fadeaways, and he'd be missing them. But he was building a groove up, and by that fourth quarter, every single time when he took a shot, I thought it was going right through the rim every single time.
Yeah.
Bro, and if you can annoy him, if you get him even
he's a closer. He's a closer. He's a proven closer.
He's a psychopath. That man is a killer.
Yeah.
Bro, that man is a...
And he's left-handed, right? He's left-handed, right?
I hate him.
Canadian.
He's Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I hate him.
That Canadian basketball team, when we have our little Olympic talks, we got to talk about that Canadian basketball team. Bro, they're stacked. They're
going to get mollywopped by the Avengers.
Kelly Olynyk is their starting center, though. So
they're going to get mollywopped by the Avengers.
But
Jamal
Murray might actually...
He might score 60.
Shea might score 40.
No, that's a tough team for sure. But but I mean, I
shout out Dylan Brooks.
I understand your notion. I just it's listen. If I'm coaching, I was like McDaniels, follow him everywhere he goes. Go into their locker room if you have to. You know what I mean? Like follow him everywhere. But hopefully we can run through the rest of these series a little more. I'll tell you, I don't have much to say about the Lakers, man. But you guys can talk about it as much as you want.
I had something to say, but Him was fired.
Denver.
Yeah.
Denver beat the Lakers.
Get well. Get well soon, Lakers.
Denver from Jeff T.
Get well soon, Lakers.
Denver beat the Lakers 4-1. I mean, there's a lot of things to take away. We already talked about Murray, so honestly, we don't even have to keep going on it. But yeah, Murray is something special for sure. Close out every single game. 2-game winners in 5 games is phenomenal.
And to clinch it too, to get it out of here.
Yeah,
he's a killer. He practiced those shots and he missed them, but at the end,
at Denver too.
You know he's from Alaska. Sorry, I thought he's from Alaska.
Is he really?
Chalmers is from Alaska. My bad, y'all.
For real?
yeah.
That's true. Anchorage.
Yeah, that's so random.
I know.
But yeah, Darvin Ham got fired, man. Praise Allah. Thank the Lord. This is
the worst. He's worse than Doc Rivers when it comes to switching.
Man, y'all saw my rant in the group chat, man. after game 1, man. Like I said, I'm not gonna dwell on it too much, man. My Lakers are gone. It's time for the off season. But one thing that I am curious to see what you guys think. You know, LeBron. You know, what do you honestly think? Does he stay? Does he leave?
He's not going anywhere.
He's gonna stay. He's putting everything on their front office, and he's gonna stay.
I'll tell you this. I think they need to make moves for LeBron to be happy, because then LeBron can just be like, yo, I'm gonna play one more year. Ride this out with my son, shoot some ropes, make sure these people are treating him right with development, and I'm out of here.
Do they draft Bronny?
It depends who drafts Bronny at this point for me.
If they draft Bronny,
do they draft Bronny? Do they do that for LeBron?
Do they want to keep LeBron?
If they draft Bronny, I give up on the Lakers. I generally give up on the Lakers. That's a terrible pick.
Because they're so full at shooting guard and point guard.
But it's not a pick for the sake of the player, though.
No, but LeBron is there. There's been more comments coming out that LeBron doesn't care about playing with him. He expects that Bronny's going to go to a team that needs time to develop, and he signs by that. If the Lakers pick Bronny with any of their picks, that's a terrible decision.
Yeah, I think the LeBron going to Bronny's team is overhyped. LeBron's not going. You think if the Charlotte Hornets draft LeBron, he's going to go to the Charlotte Hornets? Utah Jazz.
I don't think so anymore.
I think
never in a million years.
I'll tell y'all what. I think he's doing that on purpose because I don't think he wants that shock value. And honestly, man, I've never seen LeBron like this, but I don't think LeBron has much more to prove. I mean, that's going to make his case more the case.
Disagree. I'll get on that for a second.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think he has much more to prove in the sense of what he has left to do. I think him having that Kenny Griffey Jr. moment with his son will be dope for the NBA. I don't know if Ronnie's an NBA full-time player.
He's not.
He might be a G leaguer, and he might have to wait for someone to get hurt to get an opportunity.
He's a 4-year college player.
Yeah.
4-year college
player.
But to talk about the LeBron thing, I didn't mean to cut you off, but to talk about the LeBron thing, LeBron does have something to prove because at the end of the day, he chose Los Angeles, and that was his decision. He has to live up to Laker legends. You know what I mean? He has to live up to the hype of La La Land.
Yeah.
And he can't come to the Lakers and have this much of a failure. I get it. He won a championship, and I'm a Laker fan, so I love that. You know what I mean? I love that for him. I love that for us. But the first year was a failure. He didn't make the playoffs. I get it. It was a young team. It was never going to work. Third year, maybe it wasn't his fault. Front office made some terrible decisions, broke the team up that just won a championship.
That was insane. That was the most
Vogel as well.
Stupidest thing ever, of course. So I get it. It wasn't your fault. Cool. Whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, he chose to be here. Nobody forced him to be here. Yeah. It was his decision. So you can't leave Lakers without accomplishing Laker type of accomplishments. You know what I mean? You would be the only Laker in history to not play the Celtics for a championship, which he doesn't have control over. But
yeah, I'm about to say, what can he do with that shit?
But I mean, he could have. He could have played.
They've only made it once in the last 15 years.
He could have. They went to the finals. So why didn't you go to the finals too?
He was hurt. He had the bottom of his foot was messed up.
But either way, that was just me. That was more for shits and giggles. But he had, like I said, he's only won one championship. He's missed the playoffs multiple times. Before the Lakers, he had nothing to prove.
Once with them.
He missed the playoffs the first year. He missed the playoffs another time after.
Last year? No, he made it every year after that.
No, he's missed the playoffs
first
another
round
time.
exits. First round.
He missed the playoffs another year. I'm pretty sure.
No, he missed the first year only. He won the second year. Playoff beat by the Nuggets.
Let's figure
in the
that
Western
out
Conference
right
Final,
now.
and then he lost in the first round. He lost in the first round too. He only missed once.
I'm almost positive, but let's see. So LeBron's
only missed 1 year.
LeBron's only missed 21. Nah, because, see, he missed 21-22.
Okay.
He missed 21-22.
Was he hurt?
I don't know, but the Lakers didn't go. The
no,
Lakers
21-22 is the year that the Celtics went. He couldn't go. He was injured.
But no,
Yeah,
well,
he did get
let me
hurt.
see.
That was the year he scored 40,000 points.
So name a player on that team. So
it was Melo.
Anthony Davis.
No, he missed a year with Westbrook. Remember?
That's that year.
He missed the playoffs.
That was the year with
Oh,
Melo.
so you're saying he didn't go because he was injured? The team didn't go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He missed the playoffs. I get it. He was injured. He still missed the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Okay.
At the end of the day, he missed the playoffs. Sure, you can put it to whatever reason, but he missed the playoffs. So, like, he has things to prove as a Laker. He has to. He chose to be here. He's the greatest of all time. He has to do more with the Lakers, even if it's just finishing strong. You know what I mean? Finish strong. Next topic, we already did talk about the Wolves and Nuggets just from the previous little segment there. The Thunder, I mean, they obviously swept the Pelicans.
Talk about the boys.
No Zion, no nothing. I mean, not much to really. I mean, you said you wanted to mention something about Zion, but do they blow it up? Do the Pelicans just say F it? I mean,
they kind of said it, not in those regards, but David Griffin came out and he said that he doesn't really want to focus on continuity anymore with that team. That doesn't mean that they're going to get rid of Zion, but I think Brandon Ingram moves. I think Valanciunas moves. I think C.J. McCollum.
They need to move C.J. McCollum.
It's such a weird situation, bro, because I don't know if they win with Zion, but like it'd be stupid of them to move on from him. But like, what do you do?
I just hope the Magic don't pick up C.J. McCollum because I've been hearing a little bit of rumors of that. I just hope that doesn't happen.
He's not a point guard.
He's not. I don't really got a lot to say about that series. That series, I actually watched that one. That was a very, very, very weird series because it was like the
kids, bro.
The kids were more mature than the adults. You ever heard that before? It's like the kids were way more mature than the adults. Like even the game plan to the T, the way they went about it. Fourth quarter, we're up. They started holding the ball down in the shot clock. Everything they did was like NBA vet wise. Like they look like they had a vet. They don't even have a vet on their team, and the only vet they do have is Gordon Hayward, and he hasn't won anything. So it's just like that was to me. I think that was very underestimated, underimpressed, and not getting talked about because that Pelicans team's a veteran team. They have Herbert. They have defensive players. They were bigger than them on the wings.
Yeah, Herbert's a kid, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's older than the boys in OKC, that's for sure.
But I definitely think the Pelicans make a lot of big moves. I think Zion might be the only one on that roster still. Him and Herbert Jones.
It all depends. I think they just blow it up and rebuild. I think it's time to rebuild. I think it's time to bring something new. I think it's time to bring a new play style. I even think, and I'm not one to advocate to fire coaches, but even Willie Green might have to go because what has he done? I mean, what has he done to like what OKC's done, like what the Timberwolves have done, like what the Celtics have done with
I say it all the time. They're a useless team. There's nothing. They have nothing to look forward to. Like, what are you gonna do from here?
Give me the Sonics.
Like your biggest chance to really succeed was AD, and you pissed him off. You know what I mean? And he asked to get out of there. You know what I mean? So now they're gonna do the same thing with Zion.
Pels are like the Clippers, injury problems. Like you think about it, like even in their history, like CP3 in the playoffs. What's his name? Zion. I feel like AD in the playoffs. Boogie, his first year there, where he was balling. Like it's just sad because.
They just don't have the environment, the market. Nothing about them is interesting. Like it's just
all market team.
They're gonna have to draft a phenom, which I mean they did twice, but they got to do better.
And they have a couple phenoms that went through there already.
If you count the Hornets, they also drafted Chris Paul.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it's kind of because I don't keep up with college. I mean, this year is obviously not the year it's going to be. So like, is it going to be next year that they rebuild? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like. Do they rebuild completely? Is it worth it with the talent that's coming in? Like, what should they do?
Unless we consider rebuilding just making changes for around Zion, I don't know if I consider that a rebuild.
I don't think Zion's there. I don't think Brandon Ingram and Zion's levels are different. I don't think they drop off. I think, obviously, the dominance is different, obviously. But what they do is not different. I don't think you could really build a team around someone who can't stay in shape, which he did good this year. Shout out to him. But can't stay healthy. So at first it was that, he's fat, and now it's he can't stay on the court. And players like that, I mean, do you build around players like that? When's the last time in the NBA we've had someone who hasn't completed more than 50 games? Now, he did it this year, but in the past that they build around.
Just recently lost Philly.
Joel Embiid, look how that's working. Like, second round is his ceiling.
Yeah.
And he's literally one of the best players in the NBA.
He's the only MVP
I don't
to
think
make it to the conference final.
I don't think they have a future in him, man. Honestly, I just don't think we need to talk about the Pelicans anymore.
Yeah,
It's hurting my brain just thinking about it. But
it looks like the Clippers are
the Celtics too. The Celtics, however, are a much more fascinating team. They beat the Heat 4-1. Now that series itself was very lackluster. Heat were very undermanned, and I don't know.
They
if
still played well.
I don't know if this was the year that they were really going to do anything, even if they were healthy. But, they've proven us wrong in the past. So maybe healthy they could have done something. But you had something to say about Tatum. I think it was you. Why Tatum slander is deserved. What do you think about that?
I honestly absolutely do think it is.
Jayson
Tatum.
Screw you too, then.
Yeah, he went into this series perfectly healthy, along with the majority of the series. He went against a very, very injured Heat team.
Okay.
Do you think he performed well?
Bad take.
Actually, I have a better question. Let's play a game really quick. I'm going to give you two players. Which one would you rather have?
Jayson Tatum.
First player, 21 points.
Jayson Tatum.
No. First one, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 41% from the field, 29% from three.
Talking way too fast for my Spanish brain.
Let's go back. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists.
21, 10, and 5.
41% from the field, 29% from three. Versus 22 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 55% from the field, 48% from three. Which player would you rather have?
What was the first person's assist?
5.
One with that
And 29% from three?
Yeah.
One with that 48% from three.
Oh, yeah, I guess the second person,
So we just
of course.
compared Jayson Tatum to Michael Porter Jr.
Ha! My take is looking real good right now.
One assist is wild. That's crazy. One assist is wild.
That's Michael Porter Jr., right?
That is Michael Porter Jr. That's crazy. That one assist is wild.
Jayson Tatum severely underperformed, severely.
No, he did for sure.
And
I think that he got his number though. I think this is one of those teams where he just doesn't play good against them.
I think Jayson Tatum unfortunately struggles in the playoffs.
He does.
Over the years, and I think that's a really big issue.
Paul Pierce and Skip were talking about it. Does he have that LeBron thing where he just deer in the headlights? He's not ready to because he's not even taking last shots. Even when it is close, the games are close. And if he does, he's not making them. So does he shy away from not taking those shots so he doesn't get the scrutiny? You get what I'm saying? Is he running away from? Does he run away from the moment? Is Jayson Tatum running away from the moment sometimes? That's the question that I would ask myself a lot, and I think he does. I think a lot of the times I think Jaylen Brown's their scapegoat. That's where I end it because I don't want to say anything.
I think he also deserves the criticism too. To be fair,
well, he doesn't have a left hand.
Yeah,
Jaylen Brown?
Oh yeah.
I think both of them it's a very interesting team, and I think it's kind of the same issue that we're seeing with the Suns. You have two stars with very, very similar play styles. Unfortunately, they're both pretty good defenders. They're not really playmakers. They're shot creators realistically for themselves. And in the playoffs, they take that away. They're going to hone in on that. And Jayson Tatum has never really developed another, option outside of strictly scoring. He could pass, but he passes the same way that
he's a decent rebounder too.
Where he's a volume passer. So I don't know. Amazing defender. He's an amazing player, but he's been game planned almost every series.
Yeah, I think Jayson Tatum does deserve criticism for sure. I mean, I defend him, of course. He's my favorite player, but he's my favorite player based off of play style. You know what I mean? I enjoy the way he plays. I think his game is just fun to watch and entertaining. But he deserves the criticism that he gets. He has to step it up in the playoffs, and it's very similar. Luka doesn't struggle in the playoffs. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it's very similar to Luka in the sense of there's a maturity level that they have to reach to understand. I don't have to do this every time. I don't have to go out there. And Goran Dragic said it best on that Haslam and Mike Miller podcast. When it comes to Luka, and what he said about Luka is also what I believe about Jayson Tatum, is he has to learn as he gets older and more mature in the game.
You can't do all that dribbling.
Exactly. You have to get off the ball sooner. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Braun learned that. Braun had to learn that with Cleveland and the Heat because he would catch those cramps. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're 100% right. Being better is being a better player off the ball. Steph Curry arguably is the best player off the ball ever. So, like, I mean, next to Shaq, obviously, but, you know.
And you look at somebody like Kyrie Irving, he played his best years with LeBron. Why? Because he was forced to get off the ball.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just one example. You can use the examples anywhere. You know what I mean? Like Kobe, when Shaq left the Lakers, Kobe was not doing well. His teams were underperforming. Of course, the talent level mattered. Of course, we all know that. Those teams were trash. But they could have done better, you know what I mean? But Kobe felt like he was forced to do everything.
For sure.
Right? As soon as you add Pau Gasol to the equation, Lamar Odom to the equation, two guys that you can get the ball to, now Kobe's getting off the ball sooner. Instead of averaging 35, I can get away with averaging 28 and win championships. You know what I mean?
Which he did.
Like Luka Doncic is out here averaging 35. I can get away with averaging 29, 30 and win championships.
Yeah.
And Jayson Tatum has to be in the same boat. It's like I don't have to go out there and try to score 40 every night. Like if I get off the ball sooner, if I make these passes earlier, more options are going to be available to us. My teammates will do better. My teammates will perform, and that's going to lead to championships. And I feel like it's that maturity level to understand, like, it's time for you to not develop the game that makes others better. You know what I mean? Like, we get it. You've developed all these fadeaways and all these
they think
pull-ups.
the assists. A lot of people think his assists are the reason he's better, but just because you average 8 assists doesn't mean you're a great people equivalent stats to being good at something, and sometimes you just have the ball so damn much you have to pass the ball.
You're passing it to the other players on a 64.
Oh my God!
God, man!
Jesus
God
Christ!
Murdered that man.
We are putting that
Who did he
on the
dunk on?
screen. God damn! I think Zubac.
Watch Paul George. Paul George. Did y'all see Paul George? Oh shit!
God! Oh golly!
Oh man!
That is a grown man's jam right there.
That's a man.
And that's a rookie. Right?
Been in the league a few years.
Nah, Gafford. Oh my bad, Lively. I gotta mix up with Lively.
This is 13
Lively's
in the
a rookie.
NBA.
Also, so another thing with Tatum that we got to talk about as well, he has been in deep playoff runs since 2018.
That I gotta give him.
But
Yeah, for
do
sure.
Sauce.
you give it to him, or do you admit that he's just been in a great situation and he has not?
It's a little bit of both.
capitalized?
I haven't seen him in
That's a
that
little bit of both.
situation, so I
Yeah,
can't
he has
get
not
him on that.
capitalized since that. He's had a great coach, Brad Stevens, for half of the time he played.
It's a little bit of both. A lot of those playoff runs don't
What's his
happen
worst
without him.
season? Probably like 40 wins. Probably
that
that's his worst
season,
season.
that 2018, I think that's the worst season.
Wow.
I generally think that is.
So I guess we can all agree that Boston Celtics have been probably the best team.
They've been the most consistent team. Yeah.
The last couple
But
of
been
years.
the most
there's never been a
consistent
time
team.
during that, other than maybe this year, where I felt like they were the best.
Yeah. But I agree, yeah. Jayson Tatum does deserve some criticism. It comes with the game. I feel like he's reached the point where he has to mature. Luka is still young enough to get away with it. Some of these other guys are still young enough to get away with it. I think, just to go a little bit off track, but I think Anthony Edwards is actually the opposite. I think he has to do the opposite of that. I think he has to take more shots. I think he's actually trying to get off the ball too much. I think he has to actually
He
take
says
over.
it though. I think like he has to get everybody else involved first though, and he's mature. Like that's where the maturity comes in. He picks his poison in that series, in the Sun series. It looked like Anthony knew when I was going to attack, when I'm going to give you guys my buckets, and that's a great quality of a scorer. Because if you know KD's like that, Kobe was like that, even LeBron. I mean, I'm not saying he's the purest of scorer, but when to do it, and that's a hard thing to do in the NBA. Because a lot of people, they come here like Harden. He was averaging 36, but what were his percentages? When was he doing it? Did those like stats that matter? Did they help the team win? You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, they tell you when you're developing as a basketball player from youth all the way up to adulthood, they always tell you that one dribble matters. You know what I mean? That extra dribble matters, one less dribble matters. So you gotta understand when it's time to keep going, when it's time to slow down. But they're gonna get there. Jayson Tatum, he's been in the league for 7 years, so I think it is time for him to reach that level of understanding now. I don't think he can wait much longer. But he's luckily in a good situation, so I think he's
probably one of the best.
Yeah.
They also still have draft picks too, and they have assets that they can easily move.
Yeah.
He's just.
They could always trade Jalen Brown.
Arguably, he's the luckiest person ever drafted. The luckiest superstar, I should say.
Norris Cole is. He won back to back.
Let me say
superstar. Okay. So Norris Cole looks to me like
because
in my eyes.
Patrick McCaw would be. He won like 5 championships in his first couple of years.
What about Tim Duncan?
I would say I generally do think. No, you're right because
Tim
David
Duncan
Robinson was really good, and They didn't get Ginobili yet because he was waiting overseas.
He won a championship as a rookie, didn't he?
Yeah.
Actually, if we're talking about best situation ever, Magic Johnson.
I don't think Magic, because Kareem was still too old.
James Worthy.
Not the year he got drafted.
James Worthy.
The year Magic got drafted, Kareem was still him. It wasn't until a few years later, and even
he's still too old.
Even if he was old, he still got drafted into a phenomenal situation.
To me, it's James Worthy though. Like when you say the best situation, I know that's like a throwback player, but you got to think about it. Magic and Kareem were in the finals, or they won it before, and then he gets drafted number 1 and goes to the Lakers. I think to me, it's that team. And another team, because it's hard to go to a good situation and also be the best player on the team. Because usually there's a player that's way better than you. But a woulda, coulda, I think if LaMelo would have went to Detroit, that would have been the most ideal situation for anybody.
Terrible for the league. That would have been so bad.
They would have had their 6-man. But
I don't want to get into it today, but maybe we could definitely write it down for another time because I do have a take that's the opposite of what you guys are saying.
Oh wow, okay.
So let's say this,
Yeah,
but
you can write that down.
In the comments, who would you say is the luckiest superstar to ever get drafted to a team? Someone that developed into superstar.
Yeah, I want to get those comments right.
My
Let's
vote
hear
is
that.
Magic.
My vote is Jayson Tatum.
Mine might be Shaquille O'Neal.
Drafted into the what?
They went to the playoffs like 5 years of the Magic went to the playoffs like 5 years of them being existing.
Yeah, but
and he had Penny Hardaway. He had a really good team. It wasn't a bad team.
I get it, but they didn't have Penny Hardaway. They drafted Penny Hardaway after Shaq, so he didn't get drafted into a situation. He became the situation.
I mean,
but that's every star, every superstar at least, like every high
they were
level
a decent team,
Shaq
though,
level
right?
player. Every Shaq level player is in the same boat.
Yeah.
They get drafted into that situation. You know what I mean? LeBron got drafted into that situation, went to the finals 4 years later. Shaq got drafted into a situation, went to the finals 4 years later.
True.
I think Shaq was the reason they became that good.
He didn't get drafted into. They had Nick Anderson. Like, come on.
So
now.
could you guys say Scottie Pippen?
No, because they were losing.
They were losing until they ended up until the 90s realistically. And he got drafted in 87, 86?
But isn't that a good situation? He ultimately becomes the second best player on the.
But that wasn't
a
until
good
his
situation is you're in that playoffs the same year you're drafting, and you're there ever since.
So James Wiseman.
No, because look where he is now. He's on
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you. There's not a lot of players like that.
There isn't a lot.
That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to not only get drafted to a good team, but
be also
stay on that good team, and you become that team's superstar.
Jonathan Kuminga.
He could be there. He really could be there. He's getting there actually.
But the thing is, Jalen hasn't won though. Jalen hasn't won. Like he hasn't gave me a championship yet. Like he hasn't won a championship with a better player being there, and so that's why like when you guys say like the situation's good, but how good is it? What are you like? Are you good with being like a good top team in the East and going to the second round?
Is some of that on him though?
Oh, a lot of it.
Some of it is.
Well, not the
we
first
still talking
couple
about
seasons. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm not tired of this. The last two playoff series they're actually going to end up playing each other, or at least the last two playoff series that have ended. The Knicks beat the Sixers 4-2. Definitely a lot of things to talk about there. I will say in advance, I think the Sixers are going to be fine. I feel like we're going to have a lot of takes that say the opposite, but I do think the Sixers will be fine. I think they're in a great situation. But what's
Really
next
quick,
for Philly?
Before we get into that, just a quick question. Was that one of the all-time series in the NBA?
What do you mean?
When it comes in terms of excitement, when it comes in terms of competition.
We're talking about like top 10?
I would generally say that's one of the top 10 series. When it comes to how close it was and how exciting
You
it was.
definitely got to prepare me for these type of topics, but I don't think if I research it, I'll put this in the top 10.
Up there. I think there's a couple of years where there's a couple like that Celtics Chicago Bulls series to me is the best series I've ever seen in my life.
To me, I'm gonna put it up there. But I can also see
I think if you
otherwise.
research it, you probably will just change your mind.
I already did. It's number 9 for me.
Did you really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a good topic for next week too.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's next for Philly, man? Where do they go from here?
Bro, you guys keep thinking that they're in a good situation. I don't think it's as bad, but they have $58 million in cap that's gonna be available. They have to pay Maxey. They're gonna have to bring other people back. I don't think that they do any major moves. I think what ends up happening is Maxey gets a nice contract. They re-sign Melton. They re-sign Oubre. I think that there's a high chance that they bring back Harris on a cheaper contract. And I think that
Harris.
I don't think they make it past the second round again.
I don't think they need big moves though, but I like the direction they're going with their coach. I like the direction they're going with the Embiid and Maxey combination. I like Oubre. I like people.
If I'm
don't.
I do not like Oubre. Oubre played
as a support player, not as like a main.
I think as a role player, he
played amazing this playoffs. But if you watch him back on the Wizards, which unfortunately is some of my favorite.
I mean that's not fair.
He got drafted by
the Suns. If you watch him on the Warriors,
but that's not fair. Look at how you started that sentence, though.
He balled out on the Warriors. He had a good
full
season.
Track record where there's a reason.
Did he win a championship?
But that's not fair, though. You just listen to how you started that sentence. He did well this year, so why are we talking about what he did last year?
Because I think it's scary to rely on. I know they're not.
No, not
but I think it's scary to.
You think it's a contract year vibes?
Yeah, I think he's in a $10 million contract, and I think he's had the same issues. In the playoffs, the issues he had were the same. He's turnover prone. He's a ball watcher. He gets lost all the time consistently. Like I don't know.
Man, I've never heard.
He's not a shooter either.
I never heard Kelly Oubre, someone dismantle him.
I was a Wizards fan.
No,
you were a Wizards fan? Yeah. That's like I'm a Jets fan. That's like being a Jets fan.
Also, when I watch football, I was a Jets fan.
Oh, I'm a Jets fan. I'm not still going anywhere.
Nah, F the Jets.
But, I don't see it, bro. I just don't see it.
That is a wild jump ball. Harder than Kyrie. My bad, y'all.
But I was listening to stay back on the Knicks and the Philly. I was listening to Gil's Arena, and Gilbert Arenas has a different take on what the word superstar means. He doesn't think Jalen Brunson is a superstar for his own personal reasons, but
I agree.
I think Gilbert could be a little bit of a hater, and they have like the same game. That's what's crazy because Gilbert used to be in the post too, just like Jalen. They have the same where they score and everything, and how they score.
They do have a similar game. I can admit that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you say he's not yet. What do you think, Jalen Brunson's superstar or not?
I think if you're playing on the Knicks and you win, you're a superstar. Just like if you're playing on the Lakers and you win games, you kind of are viewed as a superstar. So at the end of the day, when it comes to Jalen Brunson, lost Randall, lost OG for a little bit. Before OG was balling, before Randall got hurt was balling, after Randall got hurt, played even better. I'm surprised he's not even in some MVP talk. Their team was number 3. He had nobody. He had, DiVincenzo and Hart, which end up, their roles get maximized, and they're now we're looking at Josh Hart as probably one of the best wing players in the NBA when it comes to, like, people you want on your team. Feel like we're not used to that. That's not what we want. That's not what the league is used to. A short dude dominating a game. We haven't really had that. I think he's the best 6-foot player right under AI, like season-wise he had this season. And Isaiah Thomas came through, and I think about Kyrie Irving. But Kyrie Irving is a little bigger than Jalen Brunson. But yeah.
They're about to say that's the crazy part. He just plays so weird.
Who?
Not weird, but
Kyrie and Brunson, they're about the same size.
Yeah. And then kind of like, I mean, he's not as flashy. They got the same game. Get to the post, to mid-post, turn around, fade. And
yeah, they just do it differently, but they're
he's more efficient than Kyrie, I think, as well.
I mean, what's a superstar? What's the boxes he has to check that he's not checking?
He's checked them all. He's
in a major. Tyler doesn't think he is. So what boxes is he missing?
Well, I think consistency is really what it is. I think if he continues this for 2 more years, I think it is. But I think he's
back-to-back playoff years with the Knicks that weren't in the playoffs prior to that for a long time. No, but I'm saying
overall performance, the way he carries himself. I think he's going to do it. I'm not saying he's not going to do it. I just think it just takes time. I don't think you get in here 1-2 years and it happens. I think he's getting even more spotlight because he's in literally the biggest media platform in New York.
I will say this: Porzingis hurt, Greek Freak's out. They're arguably the second best team in the East right now.
Oh yeah,
they have a chance.
Absolutely, going to be a superstar.
And if Porzingis is definitely like God forbid it's an Achilles injury or something like that, or even thought of it. 1, I don't think he'll play. I don't think he'll put his body through that. And 2, I think that's where when we're talking about when now we're going to skill play like the guards and forwards. I think the Knicks arguably can match up with the Celtics. I'm not saying that it's pound for pound. I'm saying we have Josh Hart now. We have DiVincenzo. We have McBride coming off the bench. We have Hardenstein. They're deep at the big man. They got they're pretty deep, man, and that's without 2 and they still got OG back. Yeah. They can arguably get to the NBA Finals, and if he gets them to the NBA Finals, he's a superstar. Even if he gets him to the Eastern Conference Final, he's a superstar, and it takes it to 7 to 6 games. He's a superstar.
I can see that. I can agree.
I think he's a superstar right now. I understand the consistency
Same.
for sure. I get it. I do understand. I'm not against it. I just think the numbers are there. The statistical output is there.
Yeah.
The attitude is there. The everything you could want a superstar to do, he's doing it.
And he's the leader too. He's by far the leader.
He had 3 back-to-back 40-point games to close out that series. You know what I mean? Like,
and everybody falls in line. Yeah, and everybody falls. It's like he's not a vocal leader. He's kind of got like that silent, but everybody falls in line. Like they know who the leader is, and I mean they all played in college as well together. Damn near most of those players, man. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna rant. I just really feel like he's so impressive this year, and I think I would take Luka off the MVP list and I'd put him on there.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. I mean, there's no reason not to. He led the team to second seed with his second best player being injured for a good part of the season.
Yeah,
and true, correct. But I agree. I can see that. I get why Luka's on there, but I agree.
They're interchangeable, I think.
Yeah, they're interchangeable.
Luka's stats were better. I think Luka's overall rebounds and assists was just astronomical.
Luka's finish to the season was out of this world. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't averaging 34. In January, that number just started going up and up and up. Next thing you know, he's finishing with 33 or 34 points per game.
Dropped 60 on the Hawks this year as well. He had a really big game. 70, my bad.
But not to digress too much. The Knicks on the other side will be playing the Pacers. The Pacers beat the Bucks 4-2. The Bucks put up a much better fight than I thought they were going to with all the injuries. So kudos to them. Now, when it comes to the Pacers, though, I have an interesting. No, I agree. I don't think I'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to the Pacers, are the Pacers good or are the Bucks just bad?
I think the Bucks are unhealthy.
Lost because they were bad.
They were unhealthy. Yeah.
I think the Pacers are a pretty good team, but they're still young. Take a little bit more time to develop.
So my question to y'all, I mean, this is going to be a Giannis question, because I know we're doing Pacers and Bucks now. Is Giannis durable anymore? This is 3 years in a row that we're losing him in the playoffs. Pivotal. So is Giannis durable? Is Giannis a 82 plus 16 playoff game guy anymore?
People don't talk about that. In the last 5 years, he's missed at least one game of every series in the playoffs.
This is a weird take, but I something about his injuries just are more coincidental than they are
I'm not saying
injury prone.
Not to cut you off. I'm not saying he's not tough. I think he's one of the toughest guys. But is he durable? I don't think he's durable anymore.
I feel like his injuries are all coincidental though. Like they're not really like he's injury prone. Like AD is injury prone. You know what I mean? Like Kawhi is injury prone. I feel like he's just coincidentally getting hurt. And I mean, because like when somebody's injury prone, when somebody's not durable, their game changes. You know what I mean? Like now it's like I'm getting hurt often, and this is just a part of my life now. Yeah. It's going to mentally slow you down. It's going to physically slow you down. That's why AD's numbers aren't what they used to be. That's why Kawhi's numbers aren't what they used to be, even though they are arguably still the same skill level players. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's durability for him. I think it's just a coincidence. I don't know how many more times he has to get injured for me to say it's not a coincidence anymore, but he's never had an injury that you can be like, oh, he's done for. You know what I mean? Like, this was the closest. At least he had a lower something close to his Achilles.
It was his tailbone, the last one.
Right? It was the KD injury. The KD injury that he had before he tore his Achilles. It was the same injury.
No, I'm saying the year before that was the tailbone, right? His tailbone got messed up. I think it was the tailbone. Yeah. Then they got to get rid of Thanasis, right? Yeah, I'm tired of that man. Get rid of that man.
he don't do nothing there, man. So what's the point?
He got his brother a spot, though.
I'm saying, what's the point of removing him? That's what I'm saying. Like,
what's the point of keeping him? I feel like he's such a distraction.
It makes Giannis happy, and they can do anything. A small market's going to do anything for them.
I think they love him, honestly. I think they love him. Not the players. I think they love him, man.
Yeah, he's a wild player.
His podcast is funny as hell.
I haven't. Is it good?
No, I was kidding.
Oh, wow. Man. Bad basketball player, bad podcaster.
But that's the last series. And then, who you guys got? We can run it down nice and quick. Who do you guys have? Bucks or Pacers or Knicks coming out of that?
Knicks sweep.
I got Knicks in 5, though. I think the Pacers will take 1.
I got Knicks in 4, man.
And then we're watching Dallas. It looks like they got a comfortable lead here, 15 points with 30-something seconds left in the third quarter. We'll see what the fourth quarter looks like. But Magic are taking it to Game 7. Who takes that? Magic or Cavs?
Cavs. I said it earlier. I still think Cavs, unfortunately.
But I think Magic. I think Magic might pull one off. Magic, Orlando Magic. Hopefully y'all got it. And I was trying to say something cool, but it didn't come out right. Magic's Magic. Magic. I think they figured something out, and I think this is gonna be a Pablo game. I think this is where Pablo can get himself on the map. I think this is an opportunity he can take to make himself a household name.
Yeah, I got my vote on the Magic as well. I don't really think the Cavs are really all that. I think they're just as useless as the Pelicans are, in my personal opinion.
Small market teams have no hope with Nas.
That's where we're going to wrap it up right there. This is Hoop Talk episode, 5? Episode 5. We're 5 episodes in, man. Y'all got to make sure y'all hit that subscribe button if you're watching. If you haven't already, man, I'm disappointed in you. You got to do that. Hit that like, hit that share, tell your friends and family about it, man. We're here to talk hoops. We're going to talk trash about all these hoopers except Jayson Tatum, please.
Can I say something real quick before we go, yo?
Go ahead.
I'm going to be setting up a 2K tournament with one of my homeboys pretty soon. I'll have everything to register. It's going to be a tournament. Winner, take some money home. I got to have some conversations with him. But yeah, 2K tournament coming soon.
Give me the info.
You pick any team?
Yeah, you can pick any team. I haven't got the rules yet. I haven't got the rules all the way yet. But another thing that's going to happen is he has an actual, he owns a trailer of gaming stuff where he has a trailer and it has the gaming things inside. So this is going to be an event that, we might hold somewhere where we can just all be there and use a trailer and,
Get the info, man. Yeah. Get the info. We'll put it up on the board, man. If y'all want to join, I don't have a PS5 or anything myself, but I would love to join. I used to love 2K, but get the info, man. We'll put it up on the board. If you guys want to join, hit us up. We'll put it on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere for you guys to see. Sure. But that's it, man. We're gonna finish up here. Like I said, we're gonna try out new spots every week. Next week, I believe we got Orlando spot on the books, and then the week after that, you'll come to my place, and we're gonna start doing that over and over again. But thank y'all for tuning in. I'll finish off by reminding y'all: subscribe, like, share with all your friends and family, man. We're done. I'm gonna go watch the rest of this game, man. Check up. Let's talk next week.
Let's go.